Good evening to the Wellcoin Talk community. Today we have an AMA with Betswamp. It's our second AMA. I think they came last year, so lots of updates and exciting things to talk about. For any investors that don't know about the project, obviously we'll be going across it all, but some of you might remember it from last year. Here to speak about the project is DeBaby and some of the other team. So yeah, DeBaby, if we could just maybe start with the core team's background and experience with crypto, that'd be great.
Yeah, we had a V1 version, as you clearly stated, there back maybe last October, towards November. The V1 version didn't really go to plan. We can touch on more of that in specifics later in the AMA. For the core developers on this project, this is their first project, their only project on the BSC. We've stuck with the same name. They've been working on this maybe 8 to 10 months on the development of the utility. We've had a snowball effect with plans and updates and developments of this actual platform, and the system we have coming out for the V2 version of the platform is really exciting, and it's a good opportunity for people to earn a lot of money passively. So yeah, we're not just a betting system; it's a betting system peer to peer with a DAO implemented, which is similar to Olympus or Jade Protocol, or Cult DAO, even we're seeing pop up on ETH with the bonding and staking mechanism, so people can earn a shit ton of money passively. As a marketing team, myself and Kid, we've kind of worked with a lot of meme coins, a lot of certain gaming tokens, and Kids work with 90% of the BSC on, media drops and different marketing services that we provide. I myself work personally on projects alone that hit like 28 to 30 million. When the rewards tokens were popping off, then we worked together on other projects like gaming tokens and stuff like that that hit like 24 million to $30 million market cap and had no utility or anything like that. And with Betswamp V1, we kind of launched in the height of the bull run. BNB was at like $620. And then it kind of trickled down and the market kind of affected our plans and our marketing push and stuff like that. Just BMOC is after popping into the chat there, if you can unmute him while I'm kind of discussing. So that's
So
our
puts his hand up. Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah. BMOC, do you want to put up your hand there, bro? But yeah, so like we provide a lot of marketing services from multiple projects as a dev team. This is their first and only project, and they've been working on this maybe 8 to 10 months as the core developers and creators of the smart contract and the way that the UI and all the platform actually runs. But we've actually another team, an external team, which is between like 10 and 11 people that are working on the integration of everything. So that's Arnaya. He's worked on plenty of different smart contracts platforms, and he's a very good developer himself. So we're definitely well connected, and we have a lot of plans for V2.
Great, baby. So yeah, what's been happening since the launch of V1, and then you're going to go into V2 now? I know you're creating a betting app, so we can go into that. Yeah, but just maybe tell us the first few months and what's been happening, and then about the relaunch coming this month. I hope. I think.
Yeah. So with the the actual V1, we kind of announced it maybe 6 to 7 weeks ago that we were going to do a relaunch. We were in a pretty uncoverable position. We didn't want the investors to be constantly taking a decline on the chart and stuff like that. Once we had plans to kind of scale this thing, and we wanted our utilities to be ready and give ourselves that time frame. But our chart held pretty well considering we went through a huge market dump, and B&B's price tanked, and with our delays in utility and stuff like that. So we have an MVP which is active on our actual website right now. It's a stripped back version of what the V2 version of the platform is going to be. Our system compared to competitors and stuff like that, as far as standard and traditional sportsbooks, we have advantages mainly because there's no KYC, there's no limits, and losers get a share from the results, and we only charge a 2% sports fee compared to a 10% sports fee, where 1% of that goes back to the creator of the market. Now, what our system actually entails is it's a fully peer-to-peer betting system. So, a creator of a market, the markets on our platform, they're not confined to just sports. So anybody, any user of the platform can connect their wallet, go onto the platform, create an event on sports, iGaming, esports, political events, religious events, predicted outcomes of pretty much anything. Like we want to target crypto centric bets. We have a lot of partners lined up that we will do advertising and set up markets around their projected gains over a month, community growth, potential CEX listings, rumor mills on bigger coins, prediction in market outcomes, like leveraging to a certain degree, with crypto centric bets around BTC, BNB, the trajectory of like the bigger cryptocurrencies, as well as providing like a lot of bets on like SHIB and XRP, and we want to be in the room in the middle of a lot of different tokens when we're doing marketing like that. And that's how you get like, not everybody's going to bet on sports, so we want to set up crypto centric bets to appeal to the crypto investors that we attract to our token and through our system that can earn people a lot of money passively. So yeah, with the way the actual betting platform is set up, so a creator can just come to the market, set up his own line of betting. It can be pretty much on anything. The 2% sports fee that we charge, 1% of the entire pool goes back to the creator of that market. So you could come in, you could create a market on, let's say, the Champions League final, and if you do it before everyone else, no one will be able to copy it, and that could get a lot of traffic on our platform. So you could have like a bet that sees $100,000 of action on it. Now, the way our rewards are redistributed, the way that the odds are calculated, is completely through public action. So a side will become more favored as there's more money, more participants on that side. And the way that the rewards are redistributed, the winners will get their winnings, their initial stake, and rewards from the pool, while losers will still just get rewards from the pool. So I remember I was betting on the MVP, and we will have more live betting lines on the MVP closer to launch when people can test out our best betting system. But for now, it's a little bit quiet. We want to get a lot of traffic on these bets so people can see how big the payouts are. So with that event, then, so that 1% will go back to the creator of the market. If it's like $100,000 on the actual pool, $1,000 go back to the creator of the market. And then we have our validation system, which is really, really unique. So what you utilize your S bets, so they'd be the rewards you get through staking, through bonding in the DAO. And instead of accumulating a lot of rewards and having no use for them and people dumping them, and then the DAO system is unsustainable, like what happened with J Protocol, they were offering way too much APY to investors and people were just accumulating rewards and dumping. So what you can do actually on our platform, and this kind of ties into the time locking kind of feature, because it's a feature that we have active on the MVP right now. So you can lock your validation points, or you can lock your S bets. Sorry, you can lock your S bets for a certain duration of time. You can earn validation points. You can then use your validation points, which you get set markets that you can validate per day. And you can see that on our actual prototype of the platform right now. BMOC can give a little bit of a demonstration later on. So what you do then is, once you get like, let's say, 1,000 validation points, as kind of an estimate of what might happen. So you stake your S bets, you lock your S bets, you earn 1,000 validation points, maybe 10,000 a day. You can use each 1,000 validation points to validate an event, to verify the outcome of the result. So if, let's say, Barcelona and Real Madrid have a game and Real Madrid beat Barcelona, the validators, maybe 3 to 5 people, depending on the size of the pool, can come to the event, say, yes, Real Madrid did win the game, and they'll get residuals from the pool. So they'll get BUSD rewards just for verifying the results of the market. So the way that our system is actually set up, you can make money through betting. You can make money whether you lose, you win. You can make money from creating markets. You can earn BUSD rewards from verifying markets, and you can use our DAO for bonding and staking, similar to Culto, and just earn a shit ton of money, a shit ton of APY. But it's it's a good way to attract people that do not want to just bet. Also, Crypto Kids in the chat, he just has his hand up. He's on the team too.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you've been answering some of the questions there for me. I think we've touched on that, but what are your odds compared to the online competition, the ones I know in the UK, like Ladbrokes, William Hills, and Betfair?
Yeah, so sorry, Kid's got his hand up. He's on the team, Crypto Kid Finance. But yeah, so when you compare our like odd system and the algorithm that we use and the smart contract that the guys have designed, is completely different. It's unorthodox in a sense. It doesn't follow the same algorithm that standard betting platforms use. So our odds aren't determined on form, public favoring, inside info, So a lot of things away, home form, it's completely determined by how people are betting on the event. So you could have like a pool size where it hits $100,000 and $66,000 will go on one side, and then they'll be 66% favored, and then the rewards are redistributed that way. So our odds are actually completely calculated through public betting, so it's completely fair. And we're only taking 2%. We're not even taking 2% because 1% goes back to the creator and 1% goes back to the operations and maintenance of the platform. Whereas normal sports books are charging 10%, and they rig the odds and rig the system. So they're the ones that are winning mostly, because losers, they still, it still costs them their bet. They're taking the risks. Where with us, losers still get rewards from the pool just for participating.
Yeah, and normal sports books would actually, most sports books nowadays are moving lines just because like the big ones in Vegas will move lines. So they're just a copycat. And we're basically, think of us like a power mutual system. We're only gonna adjust our lines based on the action that comes in, and that's gonna create huge arbitrage advantages for people that bet. So imagine someone that bets at one sports book can actually bet the other side at our sports book and create an advantage for them where they guarantee themselves money regardless who wins. So remember, like how the baby said, there's a 10% standard VIG in the industry. However, that's not basically true in many sports, such as like baseball, because in baseball, like DraftKings and FanDuel, they'll give out a 25-30% juice line in the United States, in these certain states that have legalized sports betting. And the fact is, we are only going to cap ourselves off at 2%. So that, regardless of what sport. So if it's baseball, if it's basketball, if it's soccer, if it's football, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, you're going to win more when you bet with us, and you're going to lose less when you bet with us. So regardless, if you bet every day or if you just make one bet a year, Betswamp is the platform to have your action on.
I mean, people are getting ripped off, online with these big companies taking a huge slice of the profits where you can't actually win over the long term because the math is against you, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Where you're going to attract a lot of professional gamblers to Betswamp and your platform because they can actually make huge profits on a regular basis.
Yeah, just think about the advantages of a professional bettor and what it means to get 2% VIG over the course of a year when they're making, 10, 15 bets a day. And, that could be the missing ingredient from them having going from a losing season to a winning season. And and that's what we're trying to bring at BetSwap, because the fact of the matter is, with our ecosystem the way it is, with the DAO partnered up with this hugely impressive betting system, we have a platform like no other.
Can we go into, are you planning to make it a governance token then with the DAO, and there'll be voting rights for the community and the investors?
Yeah. So basically, with our DAO, it's not just a simple fork of Olympus or just a Jade. Basically, it's the DAO that we think that can ultimately be sustainable over the course of a long period of time. Because with our ecosystem, there, like I said, there's no other coin that offers the uniqueness of what we can bring to the table. So we wanted to make sure that DAO was sustainable over time. So, in that, because we're all attracted in this industry to what? To passive income, right? We want to make money. We want our money to be able to earn money for us so we can enjoy our family and kids, right? So that's what most of us are in this crypto space for. That's what we're attracted to. We've seen with Jade, we've seen with Olympus, for that short period of time that the DAO was functioning and people were getting huge, profits. It became so so it had those DAOs had that huge run. But the fact of the matter is, we sat at the table. The development team came up with an idea, and we had some tweaks to the DAO system. Tweaks that that basically we have a 2% sell. Number one. Number two is that you can lock up your tokens for X amount of time, and then you earn a higher percentage because you do so. So if you lock up your tokens for a day, or if you lock up your tokens for 30 days, you're going to get a difference in APY. And then in addition to that, we partnered it up with the version 2 of the betting system. And as a result, we think we have an ecosystem that can be fully sustainable over the course of many years to come.
I mean, with players are allowed to create betting events in any category of betting. So you'll have a wide variety of sports for everyone to get involved, and then it makes sense to have the DAO and voting rights for the investors, because they're setting up the betting, and you're putting it in the community's hands for these events, and that'd be great going forward.
Yeah, Viran, if you could stick up your hand, Viran's another one of the core developers here. He's just after popping in and just after seeing it. But yeah, as Keith's saying, as we kind of grow, like the DAO, our system is like a full DAO, like in the sense that we're offering the same protocol as like Olympus, obviously with our own features implemented that we think could make it a lot more sustainable, with the time lock feature to get higher APY with the active burn on the cells, and to have, an adjustable APY for the rebase, to kind of minimize the amount of dumping when people are getting their share rewards. But like, as I said, we are the first like DAO with actual utility for your rewards. So like people can accumulate their rewards and then earn more rewards through action on our platform. And obviously, if we're like regulating any event, where we host the markets and we're advertising through our community, like we can do buyback and burn events with the 1% that we accumulate, maybe even the 2% that we accumulate from the entire pools, depending on, and we can do these buyback and burn events in our community just from the traffic on our platform. So it's an ecosystem that fairly complements one another. And, we've discussed it as a team because we see how most of these DAOs are running where, like Olympus, they're going to be bringing out Odyssey, their NFT kind of marketplace, and they've already established themselves as kind of a launchpad domain. Not really thinking outside the box, whereas our system is completely unique. But we understand that the holders and the people who are accumulating all those bags and those bigger bags, and when they're bigger bag holders, you want them to have a say in the governance of the actual token. So we will obviously have like systems in place on maybe the V3 version of the platform, where there's like a tiering system for people to have vote on the actual governance of the company and the project moving forward, like how much APY will be received in the DAO, to see it more sustainable throughout, like, bear markets or bull markets, because you don't want people sitting on 200, 300,000 APY in a bear market and they're just accumulating and dumping because it's going to trash the price. Now, I know with the DAOs, it's very unique because you actually own your assets because of the Treasury, and most of them are tied to stable currency anyway. So you're not going to see like a crazy swing in the amount in the Treasury, but there'll never be that arbitrage where the bond price falls below, or the launch price goes below the listing price, goes below the bond price. It'll always balance each other out with the value of the Treasury. And obviously we do plan on branching out multi-chain and going with a lot of, low transaction fee networks and high transaction speed networks like AVAX, Milky, ADA, Kronos, if it develops a little bit better, Polygon. There's a lot of ways, and even Harmony, if they can upgrade their swap and stuff like that, we'll kind of stay away from ETH because nobody wants to be paying $40 in gas to put on a bet of maybe $10, $20.
Maybe, yeah, awesome. Yeah, like you say, I mean, people have got something to use the Betswamp with that they're getting the high APYs from, which is to go to the V2 betting on the platform and stake bets all the time, so they're not actually selling the token. So that supports it. So are you going to have a treasury, and what will you be using the profits from the treasury for towards the project?
Yeah, so with the treasury, 70% of it will be used for the bonding, to maintain that high APY for rewards and for the staking and stuff like that. 30% will be divided between 15% to marketing, 10% to operations, and 5% to operations and 10% development. Now, when our betting platform goes live and our V2 version of the platform goes live and our DAO goes live and utilities are fully functional, like our plans are like fully focused on bringing out the V3 version of the betting platform, where we're offering live stream events, where we're offering certain slot machines and different casino games and stuff like that, and maybe branch out with certain gaming projects, so we can offer peer-to-peer betting integrated for extra utility for gaming tokens, maybe the most established ones. We already work very closely with MetaFX, and we will venture into the metaverse as well at some stage. No, we don't want to promise this on the roadmap, because we want people to understand what we're about initially, and what we have is potentially a very good means for people to earn passively. We're not a gaming token, we're not a rewards token, we're not a Titano fork or anything like that. This is a completely new system. So we do want to take over the BSC first, and then obviously branch across. So we do have a lot of plans. Our marketing plan is obviously going on these AMA tours, doing as many influencers, big advertising campaigns and stuff like that. We have 7 to 8 IDO partners, which will all we have 4 announced right now. We have Teams, M31, Gempad, and Wings Protocol have already announced, where we have 4 more to announce as well. And we have to do an AMA tour in all of their communities, as well as hosting actual pre-sale on there. We have a CEX lined up, a tier 2 CEX already paid for and lined up. They'll do, and we picked that CEX because they have a huge partnership with a new Fiat retailer, so they'll be bringing a lot of new users in just because of that partnership with that company. They also have a lot of strong ties in the Asian community. Now, we know that some people in the US, they might be a bit skeptical about the restrictions or legalities or anything like that. So we have to target the markets where betting is common and betting isn't like frowned upon. So we do have like big Asian marketing push planned around that CEX listing. That help us with BTalk advertising. They have a big user base in Asia anyway. We have a team that's dedicated to helping us in the Vietnamese region. We have Celine on board that'll help us in the South American region, because we have Junior Dos Santos on board already as an ambassador. You guys were with us actually when we had the AMA in our community with him, and it's really cool that we get a new lease on life, and he's really excited. So we're probably doing an NFT collaboration with him as well. So we'll obviously have our V2 version of the platform, our DAO. Then we'll look at doing NFTs, exclusive NFTs, some partnerships with NFT platforms and up and coming NFT platforms. And we want our goal is to kind of join all the communities together from the BSC and show people that the network isn't finished. That kind of way. Everyone's like, oh, Kronos is the play, but Kronos is like BSC last year, where things were popping off just off of hype, and the Moon Boys were getting wrecked everywhere. So BSC has had a chance to mature, and I think we're a big part of the next wave of like big volume coming into the network.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the people in the United States are not skeptical about placing a bet, even those who don't live in a state that's legalized, because the fact is, if it's not legalized in their state, they're betting offshore. And we want those type of customers on our platform. But the baby is exactly right. We're getting influencers who have an understanding of what the benefits of our platform can bring. Huge influencers that move coins. We already have partnerships with them. They're ready to start promoting, and and we're going to be using these IDOs and these huge communities to our advantages. Because the fact is, the baby and Celine, when they went to these meetings, these IDOs understood the true potential of what we're bringing to the table. And that's the reason why each and every IDO that we're bringing to the table has moved the needle in the BSC for a reason. And, so we want to use that to our advantage. And we want to make sure that, all the marketing stuff that we had, the ambassadors that we had lined up that we wanted to do in V1, which didn't happen, happens this time around. So, we truly have a huge marketing rollout to do, and we're all excited to bring that to the table.
Going over the staking, what's the sort of lock periods you can go for, and what's the APY investor could potentially get there? And
there's actually testing ongoing on the DAO with the bonding and the staking and stuff like that. So we should have more specifics on what the APY will be, and obviously if you're locking your tokens for a duration. So I think there'll be like a 1 week, 2 week, 1 month, and like a 6 month lock, where you can just like decide to lock your tokens, and then you'll obviously have to pay emergency tax if you're willing to withdraw them. Obviously we'll have certain things that come up in the future where we'll obviously have to adjust the APY accordingly, but within the next week or so, we should have like an estimate of what the initial APY will be, and hopefully we'll be able to sustain that high number for a good period of growth while, you know, we're getting off the ground and starting our marketing push, and obviously targeting more CEXs, more partnerships, getting the word out like as much as we can, because like I know that people, they'll say, oh, you know, you build a good community, you build a lot of hype, and then you're waiting for development, whereas we're 8 months, 10 months in development. People get to test our system, earn passively, and enjoy the ride for what else to come, you know. As far as like BSC projects go, I know, because I see a lot of them, you know, I help a lot of them, you know, I invest in a lot of them, to be fair, and I've lost a lot of money that way. But it's for the thrill, and you know, that gambling mentality is already there in the BSC. So if you give people a place to park their funds and earn passively, and utilize the platform and grow and see their investment grow over time, there's no reason why we can't keep scaling this thing. Because if we get to $10 to $15 million on launch, I'm expecting we do better numbers with the marketing push we're going to do, with the partners we have involved, with the CEX we have. You know, we've got a lot of plans outside of our utility that could see us generate a lot of volume. But once we generate those funds in the Treasury, I think we can really scale this thing. So yeah, the APY, you know, we don't want it to make it too crazy. We want it to be sustainable, but also have people earning. You know, with Olympus, they only offer 1,000% APY, and that's in like a turbulent market. Their voters and their community members, the members that are participating in the DAO, they actually they voted on that. So people like, that's the 10x your investment a year, like, and we do plan on sustaining growth, and obviously sending it to as high as we can, because a lot of these other gambling tokens, you know, they're following the systematic approach, the same as a standard sports book, and they're not actually giving any advantages for people to get into crypto. Like, why would people you know, invest using Bitcoin or invest using this token to get the same odds with no like vouchers, no coupons, nothing like of the sort, where they can just log in, add their credit card, and bet on another system. Whereas the 8% difference in the VIG alone is appealing for people. To actually get the benefits and the true advantages of our platform, you have to buy and accumulate bets. You know, that means you can earn a lot more money passively through our system. So as far as, you know, a buy and hold, accumulate where you can, it's one of the better investments, in my opinion.
These high APY projects are hugely popular at the moment. You know, they're going to hundreds of millions market cap. But like you say, you know, people get a high APY and then they sell it because they've got no utility based around the project. But the beauty of your project is you've got the betting platform where people will mint more tokens over a period of time while it's locked, and then when they release, they won't sell. They'll actually go and have a bet and join in with the community and create betting events as well. So it all ties in to make a really exciting project for India.
You're exactly right, Glenn. And the fact of the matter is, Betswamp is the only sports betting platform out there that I can think of that's truly going to be attracting the everyday crypto players because of our DAO. And, you know, that type of potential with our ecosystem, you're exactly right. It's limitless. So, you know, that's why the whole team's really excited about this relaunch.
So I'm wondering if you're going to be having like a referral program so people can, you know, tell their mates and stuff about the betting platform and bring them into the community.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's what helped Drip get fucking so big. The biggest, the most elaborate Ponzi scheme I've ever seen.
And I think you're planning Betswamp tournaments. What are you planning around that in the future as well?
Yeah, no, we're going to have like a lot of different markets. You know, one of our top markets is going to be, will Bets 100x on the first month, or will there be certain CEX listings coming? And obviously these events that we advertise, you know, we advertise our uniqueness, really. You know, like,
will Coin give out a coin that does 100x in the next month? So we want to get these crypto communities involved with these crypto centric bets on our platform, because, you know, that's the great thing about Betswamp. You know, the ability to create your own market regardless of the sport, regardless of what political event, regardless of what e-gaming or esports. It doesn't matter what it is. The fact of the matter is, if it can be validated, it can be put on our market.
I'm wondering whether around the tournaments you can have like top 5 sort of people that have done well in the events as well, like, and they get extra prizes on top in the future. It's a bit like sort of fantasy football, which would be soccer in the States, and you've got like fantasy stocks and shares, and the top ones get like extra prizes and things. Yeah.
No, that's a great idea. That's a great
It is a
idea.
great idea. We need you in the think tank, Glenn. But with our platform as well, like you'll earn like reputation scores on, events for like or hosting big markets. So if you create a market and the pool actually skyrockets and takes off, you learn extra reputation points. And if you're validating events correctly, you learn more reputation points. And as you attain a higher reputation on the platform, like our validation system is completely randomized. So this will stop like groups of people congregating to rig markets and just pick outcomes that are favorable to them but aren't actually the outcome of the result of the actual market itself. So people that have a higher reputation on the platform, they'll be given the higher pools to validate. So it's incentive to utilize our platform and utilize it in the right way and to keep usage up, so you can earn more money just by being a very credible validator or creator.
Awesome. Yeah. So the validators, they don't have to get involved in the betting if they're not really the betting type, and they can earn Betswamp tokens doing that. Yeah.
Well, they'll earn BUSD. It's a residual from the actual betting pool.
Yeah. That's cool. So as well, I'm seeing in the future as well, you're going to look at gambling licenses. I'm wondering which countries you're going to get the gambling licenses for first, maybe the EU and the States, or?
For now, our kid can more talk on that. He's more expertise in gambling.
Yeah. Right now, that's way down the line, because the fact of the matter is we want to stay decentralized as long as we possibly can. But we know there's a point in the situation where once this gets as big as we expect it to get, we have to become licensed at that point. But we want to stay decentralized as long as possible, because we want to provide that area of we want to attract the crypto investor who wants to stay decentralized, who doesn't want to do a KYC, who wants to be able to not report their winnings to their tax to the government. So as long as we can possibly do it, we'll stay decentralized. But at some point down the line, when this gets as big as we expect it to be, we will look into the options of gambling license. The fact is, getting a gambling license and going that route is truly costly, number one, and number two, it's going to limit our audience size. But as far as a marketing perspective, what we can say is that's really, we understand that gambling in general is gonna, have, we're gonna have to go through hoops for, like, for instance, doing social media ads won't be the same. We're gonna have to go through hoops because it's gambling and it's crypto. So we understand that, those two industries, you have to, marketing wise, you have to know what the regulations in that market that you're marketing to. And that will be our biggest hurdle in the beginning, is just understanding, the hurdles and hoops that we have to go through for those marketing perspective. But as far as like from a company perspective, we want to stay decentralized as long as possible.
Great. And it's going to be web based at first, the betting platform. I'm wondering what's the timeline for that launch, and then you're going to go to iOS and Android in the future.
Yeah, for sure. So, basically we learned from B1 that utility is important. So we want to make sure that when we launch the second time around, we have the full betting platform available, and then we have the full DAO available as well. So we'll have both utilities ready at launch.
Let's go around.
As far as the web version goes, and then in probably a few months down the line, we will start creating the app and building the app, and more news will come about that when that time comes.
Okay, and you've had a private sale, I think. How much did you raise there, and then how can investors get involved in the public pre-sale?
Yeah, so with the actual pre-sale allocation, we're looking to raise around 400k. So that'll be split between 8 IDOs. We have 4 already announced, as I said already, with teams M31 and the other 2, Gempad and Wings. Very good teams. You know, they've tread the needle in this space. They've all, some of them have launched excellent utility already, have really hype launches building. So and one has a relaunch. So like there's definitely a lot of hype, and these guys know what they're doing when it comes to running successful cryptocurrency projects. So we will be utilizing them, and they want to see big projects on their launch pads because it'll establish them as IDOs. So we're all in kind of sync in that perspective as they kind of see the potential that we have here, especially with the utilities being active. On the BSC side, like that's pretty unheard of. Like most people are launching NFTs or a minor game development. But the private sale was like 30 BNB per. So that was a small private sale between close friends and influencers. I know that'll help us push it. No, it's not concluded yet, so we'll probably be giving some allocation to other people to fill that. That will help us in the back end because I learned that lesson when people missed out on the whitelist in the pre-sale in the first time around. They were a bit salty and it didn't help us push it. So we won't be running into that mistake again. So with the actual allocation, each IDO is getting between 50 and 50k to 100k. Teams has the biggest allocation at 110k. So with each IDO, you know, we were very specific. The ones that approached us that could have been bigger, and they were asking for like 1.5% of the total supply to 2% of the total supply. We were telling them, you know, there's no chance in hell giving you that. We didn't want to use Pink Sale and DXA for this reason. You know, we don't want people trashing our chart when they don't benefit the project, help us push it. All these other IDOs, they're taking either 2% to 6% of the raise, they're taking a BNB cut of the raise, or they're either taking, you know, just a BNB payment straight up front. So we have a lot of teams in the background as well, still to announce that are helping us in the background. We'll likely do a partnership with a wallet company that have their own swap and everything. So, and obviously we'll network in the right way to get the game and talking partnerships and NFT partnerships and just whatever we can really just to keep scaling. And the multi-chain bridge, we have an idea with that as well, who we can partner with. So yeah, the total of the pre-sale is going to be around 400,000. The discount price that's lowest per IDO is 12%, then it's 10%, 8%, and 5%. Per IDO, that for their tiering system, it's minimum, which is like 0.1 BNB, 2 BNB maximum, and then some of the whitelisting events there'll be 1 BNB maximum.
Maybe Gempad's actually a partner of Whalecoin Talk, so that's great you're on there. Our investors will be happy with that. And yeah, they're looking like they're doing really great things, and they're not taking like 2% of the token supply and then it gets dumped. So yeah, I'm looking forward to pre-sale there. And did you say there's still some allocation for the private sale for our investors? Where would they go to get involved with the private sale?
Yeah, so it'll be like exclusively for like people I know that'll help us push it on launch, or close friends of mine. So I know that they'll attain and hold the floor. I'm not the type of person that will, like, you know, give out about people selling or overreact if people are selling. You know, volume drives the market of this market that we're in with cryptocurrency. We see swings every day. You know, everyone thought the bull run was going to get kicking. I still think it is going to get kicking for the perfect timing of our launch. You know, when we're seeing this turbulent market conditions now. So volume drives a token, and it'll ultimately fill up the market wallet for us to keep expanding. And obviously, we have no vesting period on any of the tokens or anything like that. You know, if people don't see the long-term vision of the project, or don't see how sustainable the model is for people to earn.
Yeah, people don't see the great utility going forward, and yeah, they're after just a 1 or 2x or some silly thing, and yeah, that's their fault. But yeah, so is it public, the pre-sale as well, or is it going to be like whitelist spots for people to win? Can some of our investors at Whalecoin Talk get whitelist spots?
So each IDO either has a tiering system themselves, or will be a whitelisted event for their launch pads.
Okay, cool. And let's move into the audit on the contract. Are you going to have an audit before launch or after launch? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so right now we actually have an audit and KYC done with CoinScope, and we also have an audit KYC done with SpyWolf. It was mandatory for some of these IDO applications, and obviously after launch, when there's hype there and more money in the market model, will expand and get a Certec audit. We have the connections to do it, so why not?
Yeah, Certec audit definitely boost the project massively. And then going on to the marketing side before I open it up to investors shortly, what's planned for the marketing after the launch?
Okay, do you want to give your touch on that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the great thing about this DAO, it's going to give us a treasury where we're able to market this coin in a completely different way than we did in version one. You know, we have ambassadors that we have aboard, and that we're looking to get aboard, that we're in current talks with. So we definitely want to showcase that. We have influencers who understand the true potential of what our platform brings, and we want our influencers to be able to educate the community and their audience on you know the benefits of our platform. So you know it's not just going to be your single post influencer. It's going to be your influencer that has a relationship with our coin, that you know is truly educating people on our platform, because you know we understand that it takes a level of education for someone to understand the benefits of what we bring to the table. In addition to that, we want to make sure we get out in front of those fiat sports betting players that are currently playing offshore. You know, on those sports books such as you know Bet365 and you know and stuff like that, because the fact of the matter is it doesn't matter if they make bets every day or you know bets once a year. You're going to win more when you bet with us, and you're going to lose less when you bet with us, regardless of how many bets you put through. And you know we so you know there's going to be several educational stuff as far as like videos that we will look to promote on social media, because you know the fact of the matter is we have to pass through certain hoops, you know, on social media ads, and that's the kind of way around them for us, to put out those videos that can educate our consumer base about you know the platform and about our ecosystem. So we will definitely get involved with that. We will do an email list to direct people in the sports betting industry who have showed interest, who currently have an active account at other sports books, to tell them the benefits of what we bring to the table. We will do your guerrilla style marketing with you know trending, with banner ads, with publications, with media drops on the daily. So we will get involved with that style of marketing, which we didn't actually do in V1 because of the marketing while it didn't allow us to. So you know the fact of the matter is the Treasury is going to provide you know this time around a way that we can market this coin finally the way we want to, and you know we're definitely excited about that.
It creates a huge marketing budget as well. I think you know I'm involved with a few high APY projects, and they've got 3, 4, 5 million in the marketing budget. So it's great going forward for the betting platform, definitely. I think we missed the buy and sell tax as well for investors. How's that breakdown?
It's a 0% buy, and we have a 2% sell tax that will go directly to handle that minting of the new coins that people are earning on the DAO. So it's a 0% buy tax, 2% sell tax.
Awesome, yeah, that's the beauty of the Treasury, that you can get liquidity and marketing through a Treasury and a DAO. Yeah, definitely. Right, let's open it up to the community. Aisha, you had a question for the Betswamp team, the baby and the crypto kid here. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Okay, it's mentioned on your white paper that all events will be created by users and also outcomes will be validated by the users. I want to know that what will be the requirements for users to create on betting pool I mean, do users have to be native token holder?
Yeah, that's a great question, and maybe Vron can go in more detail about that. Vron, can you answer that question?
Yeah, sorry. Could you repeat the question again?
Yeah, sure. It's mentioned on your white paper that all events will be created by users and also outcomes will be validated by the users. I want to know that what will be the requirements for users to create on betting pool. I mean, do users have to be native token holder?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We actually created the system in a way that any user, any person could actually create a market on our system. And you don't necessarily have to be a token holder because we're not using our token to place or to create or place bets because we're looking at the volatility of the market. So we're using BUSD, right? So for you to be able to create a market on our platform, you need to have BUSD, that's Binance BUSD, for you to be able to create a market. And the reason for this is because of the fact that once you create the market, you'd have to place a bet on that particular market for your market to be live and for other users to be able to wager on that market as well. So those are just the requirements. You just need to have BUSD and just connect to our platform and just create your bets or place your bets. And same goes for validation, but for validation is a little bit different because you would need to have validation points, which for you to have validation points, you'd have to lock your SBETS token, which you'll be getting from our DAO.
Okay, got it. I also want to know that how many event pool can be created related to a single event. I mean, will there be any limit?
Oh, yeah. There's no limits to that, right? Because we can't actually filter through, right? Because we could have an event for Chelsea Man U this week. There could be another football match between Chelsea and Man U, let's say in the next 3 weeks. So it's kind of hard to know the one that is the recent one or the one that is that was the last one or the old one. So for such filtration, that's why we have things like our boosting system, right, where you can actually boost your event so it will be more visible to our users. And aside from that as well, we have this sort of reputation points whereby users kind of have reputation point systems where if you've been creating markets that are just and people have been wagering on your events, users can actually choose to wager on your own event over that of others who have less reputation points in such an
Okay,
event.
that's great. Okay, thank you. Thank you for answering my questions.
No problem.
Okay, let's move to let's have a look. Syed, you had a question for the Betswamp team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. So I was going through the white paper, and you also mentioned about it. I have read that Betswamp will allow users the flexibility to creating events based on any category of their choice. So it got me thinking that what if an event which has been created and there are no validators available for specific event, or validators are unable to validate any event, they don't have the information. So I was wondering, will this pool be get cancelled?
Oh yeah, for events that are unable to be validated, which is highly unlikely, because the way we built the system, right? Every single event or market created has a specific number of validators that is required. So because it's kind of based on the pool size, right? So if you have no market that you created, let's say that is about let's say $10,000, is going to require less number of validators compared to a market that you create that has about, let's say, $50,000 to $100,000, right? And because of the fact that it's quite easy for validators to earn SBETs on our DAO, and utilizes SBETs on our platform for them to be able to earn validation points, it's kind of highly unlikely for any market to be on our platform that won't be validated. But in such a case, right, um, every market, right, is given has like a duration of about, I think, 2 days. Yeah, 2 days to be validated by our validators. So if in a case whereby the market that you've created was not validated within 2 days, then that particular market will be cancelled and everyone can just withdraw their funds. But it's highly unlikely that within that 2 days your market won't be validated by our validators, because, mind you, the reason why we have validators is so they can earn passively. And I mean, it's just very simple. Just open an event and just validate and just earn. And so it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, understood. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem.
Let's move to Venice. You had a question for the Betswamp team. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now, yeah.
Yeah, it's breaking up.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I have a question because I wanted to know that will users get any badge or any ranking by their successfully events created, so other users who want to place bets can know the potential risks involved? Did you get my question?
So, sorry, could you repeat your question?
Okay, I wanted to know that will users get any badge or any ranking by their previously successfully events, so other users who want to place their bets can know the potential risks involved?
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's how we have the ranking system, right? So for validators, they will have a sort of ranking, or should I say rating system, right? Where the more events that they validate rightly, right, the more their ratings go higher. Same thing goes for users that have been creating market consistently on our system, right? So you'll be able to see the markets that they've created over time, right? And the rating that they have as well, which is sort of their reputation on the system. So with such information, you'll be able to make decision if you're to place a bet on markets created by these users, or if you're to avoid them because of probably they've been creating how would I put it? Let's say markets that have not been so open and trustworthy on the system. So yeah, definitely there will be such on our system.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. Man. You're welcome.
Okay. We've got around 5 minutes left here. So there's been people joining the call in the middle of the AMA. So maybe we can do a recap over the Betswamp project, the pre-sale and the private sale, and what features and the betting platform and everything. Just to update them if they've missed the first half of the AMA.
Oh, yeah, I don't think the baby's here. Yeah, so basically,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, he must have got disconnected. Yeah, so basically with Betswamp, we're gonna be doing a relaunch. We're gonna be using several IDOs, IDOs that have moved the needle on the BSC. And right now I think we have 4 of them announced. And in the coming days, additional IDOs will be announced as well. In addition to that, we'll have a small raise within our community. So you can join our Telegram, join the Gleam list to get involved with that. When we do launch, which would probably be the end of this month, maybe the first week of May, somewhere in that time frame, we will have a fully functioning ecosystem of a DAO, which will create passive income for those that hold the BETS token. In addition to that, we'll also have the full version 2 of the betting platform, which will be out both on relaunch. So we're coming out with both utilities on the relaunch. In addition to that, we have a full marketing plan lined up to make sure that we spread the word in a way that we failed to do the first time around because of the lack of just many factors, but in addition to just the limited marketing budget that we did have. So, with this DAO and the Treasury that will come aboard this time around, we're able to market this coin in a way we all wanted to in the beginning, but now it's going to become a reality. So that includes ambassadors, that includes big influencers, that includes cross partnerships with other communities. Because the fact of the matter is, Betswamp can be added to any gaming token, and so where they can use our system as another added utility to their platform. So we definitely want to get involved with that. In addition, once the Treasury and we have everything rolling like a well-oiled machine, we have further developments in the future for Betswamp, because once this becomes a brand that people can actually trust and come to fully recognize, we want to get involved with the metaverse. We want to be able to people to go into the metaverse, to be able to watch a live sporting event, and to be able to make a bet using the Betswamp platform in that metaverse. So there's a lot of developments down the line in our roadmap that we want to get involved with, and the fact of the matter is, this DAO is going to give us the opportunity to do so as a company. So Betswamp is not a coin that we're doing a relaunch to get to a $50-100 million market cap. It's a coin that we're doing a relaunch to change the BSC because it has that type of potential. So these IDOs that we will be doing raises with truly understand, each and every IDO that we're partnered up with truly understands the potential of what we bring to the table. And that's why the whole team and everybody's so excited about this time around, because the fact is we're bringing an ecosystem that has complete uniqueness to the table that no other coin can say they can offer.
Okay, awesome, Crypto Kid. Yeah, it's been great speaking to the baby, Crypto Kid and Velon today. The baby and Crypto Kid are well known on the BSC and respected, and so that's great for our investors. We've got a solid project with a great banking platform, Quinn, and the project's really sound, and I'm sure lots of us are going to get involved here with Betswamp on the launch. So we've got the pre-sale coming up. Have you got a date set for the pre-sale, or? Out there. V-Run, a date for the pre-sale, or?
I'm sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So basically, we people are able to go to our Telegram right now and register for the Gleam. A date for the pre-sale hasn't been announced yet because we're doing the final testing of the DAO and the betting system. So like we said, we want to make sure when we launch with both utilities fully ready for people to experience. So I would think by the end of this week, we'll have confirmed dates for everybody as far as the launch and the pre-sale date goes.
Cool. We always say as well, anyone who wants to get any questions or anything after the AMA or listening back to the recording, could we share it in our main chat? We can get you safely over to the Betswamp official Telegram. We've got the website, the Telegram there, Twitter and Facebook they're on as well. So that's super cool. It's been great speaking to you guys. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I'll finish the recording and send a copy over to you. I'm not sure if we've got Spin the Wheel tonight with Acti or Dizzle. But yeah, I'll send that copy over into our shared chat and you can share that with your community.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Glenn.
Thanks for coming, guys. Yeah, it's been awesome.